Thank you. Citizens Against Silica Mining. I'll tell you something we're not against. We're not against mining sand like the Heartland Institute and the Koch-funded propagandists want us to believe. We're not against mining sand traditionally for bedding for cattle or for road construction. We're not against that. I'll tell you what we are against. We're against organizations coming into this area, telling lies, and taking our property and making it into a regular mess. And we don't want that anymore. So, to those of us living in the beautiful city of Winona, it was as if the frac sand mining and related fracking industries came in the dead of night, under cover of darkness, to steal our health, property values, and peace of mind. From one day to the next, a giant mountain of sand and blowing silica dust appeared on our waterfront, right beside the bridge, right down the street from our restored county courthouse, our beautiful courthouse, down the street from our beautiful new history center. Suddenly we had about 8 silica mining, washing, piling, loading, shipping facilities operating within our city limits. Suddenly open silica sand trains and explosive trains with frac cargo were holding up traffic, passing right by our schools and the campus at Winona State University. Suddenly our community airport needed to be expanded to accommodate corporate jets of fracking operatives that were coming into town from places like Texas to be extravagantly schmoozing local officials and property owners. Suddenly the floodplain forests around the airport were clear-cut and bulldozed into piles and burned or pushed into the surrounding wetlands for a longer runway. Suddenly we saw habitats fragmented, air and water contaminated right in town, just as the precious values that were being deliberately destroyed all across the driftless area. We now understand that we aren't alone in this plight, and we aren't alone in our efforts to restore sanity and a sustainable economy. Times have changed. When I flew over the Mississippi River in a commercial airliner a few years ago, I could see the damages inflicted on our beautiful forested bluffs bordering the river firsthand. The dark rounded bluffs, beautiful green color, separated by deep coulees and ravines, suggested to me a line of molars like your teeth in your jaw. From above, the deep white excavations for silica sand mining looked like giant cavities that had been drilled out by some monster dentist who had just walked away and left them to decay and fester and hurt forever. Aldo Leopold famously stated that a thing is right when it tends to preserve the integrity, stability, and beauty of the biotic community, and it's wrong when it tends otherwise. The effects of obsolete fossil industries like silica sand mining are destructive on so many levels that we need to stop it right now. In Winona, we could see that something had to be done and fast, so a group of citizen activists decided to make a stand physically blocking the entrance to the silica place where they were loading. They blocked the trucks where they were being loaded, filled with sand that was going to be parked along the roadside there to blow in the wind, uncovered, waiting transport in the dark of night. Some members of our group were arrested and later convicted for trespassing on the operator's driveway. To me, their act was truly patriotic. The rest of us carried our signs, marched to City Hall, and demonstrated and held a press conference. And since that time, Winona has been on alert. We're not going to allow more of this to happen. As publicity mounted, the sand mountain and loading operation were quietly moved to another location. Limits were eventually placed on the number of barges that could be loaded with silica in the harbor. A token air quality monitoring station was placed on top of the YMCA instead of adjacent to the sources at highest risk in the neighborhoods. But thanks to growing awareness and engagement of local citizens and increasingly responsible government officials, as well as the silica market decline, no frac sand has been loaded in Winona's harbor during the past year. As a proud member of CASM, headquartered in Winona, and I live in Winona, right in the middle of town, so Yeah, we're Winonans. We began as Winonans, but now we're driftless Aryans, and we're fighting. And also the Will Dug chapter, the flagship chapter of the Isaac Walton League. They're joined in this fight, and I want to thank the Land Stewardship Project especially for taking the lead. And I'm happy to report great progress in the collaborative effort to make Winona County the first in our state to ban large-scale silica sand mining operations. Outdoor recreation, tourism, and natural resource conservation represent $1 billion industry in this region. It sustains many thousands of jobs throughout the driftless area. It depends on protecting, not destroying, natural values. And I'd like to end with a quick story of Stuart and Kay Shaw, who had lived right close to a processing facility and had dust constantly blowing over their property. And Stuart had developed a terrible eye problem that was bothering him constantly as this dust blew through his yard and his house. And Kay was having terrible allergies, just awful allergies, and she could not get rid of this issue. They took a trip to Europe, and the two of them suddenly found that both their ailments were completely gone. They had no problem. Stuart had no problem with his eyes during their entire trip to Europe. And Kay's allergies completely cleaned up. She didn't have any problem with them. She cleared right up. And when they got right back and home again, first thing, Stuart had this terrible eye problem, came right back, and so did the allergies. This is just an anecdote, and it's not scientifically proven, but it's something in our community of people who really suffered as a result of this, and they suffer every day in our community because of what's happened. So we need to make sure that this doesn't happen anymore. We need to ban frac sand mining and get on with it.
All right. All right, you ready?